Hello, welcome to Yin Yoga. And today our peak pose is going to be saddle for some of you, or a variation or modification of saddle for others. So for that, I highly recommend having a strong cushion, a bolster, maybe several folded blankets that you can stack in case you need that for support. We're also going to go into high pigeon, meaning we'll be in pigeon, but not come all the way down to the floor, in high dragons today. So if you need blocks to help you with that part of your journey, feel free to bring them in. Some of you with really long arms may not need anything, so that's completely fine too. But that being said, our theme today is going to be positive life affirmations. I've got a lot of positive things going on. So a lot of positive life affirmations today. And let's get started on our back. We're going to get started on our back here. And once you come down here, just let the knees bend for a moment and take the feet as wide as your mat. Now, if you don't have a mat today, just take your feet a little bit wider than body width apart. Belly button is going to be in here. We're going to take this into windshield wiper, which takes the spine into a little bit of rotation. We want to make sure that the back is protected. We're just going to sway side to side here. Good. And as you're swaying side to side, just come into the breath. Nice big inhales. Nice big exhales. You can close your eyes or keep them open. Good. And then from here, maybe one knee at a time, we're going to bring them into the chest or to the shoulders, whatever's more comfortable for you. And you can hold behind here or on top, you choose. And I'm just going to give them a light tug. So I want to feel a little bit of length down the spine. And it's okay to sway a little bit here as well. And just to kind of loosen up a little bit here, I'm just going to take my right hand to my right knee. And I'm just going to let that leg just come into some little circles, little hip circles. Good. And then let's take that in the other direction. And then we'll take that to the other side. So hand comes on the outside. So remember here, as we do these movements, envision your abs doing the movement. My abs are moving the leg around from the hips. And notice when you think about your abs are doing the movement, if your abs magically start to fire up just a little bit more with that, which is what we want. We want to keep that engagement throughout our practice. Good. And then from here, you can take this down and just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And so coming into our little intention, let's just bring the hands over the heart. So the overall intention is going to be life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. It's springtime. We've got new life happening outside. It gets everybody in the mood to get out of the winter funk, get out and do things, be outside, go to festivals. Farmers markets are opening up. CSAs are starting soon. Life is beautiful. And then from here, once you have that set, we'll release. We're going to take our first pose into Bananasana. So I'm going to take my legs long here to start. Might be helpful if I took my timer up where I can reach it. There we go. Okay. So my legs are long. My arms are going to be long behind me. And if it would feel good to you before we come into this Bananasana, just take a nice full body stretch. You're reaching from the fingertips to the toes and then release. Good. Now, from here, I'm going to slide my right leg out. I'm going to slide the left leg, come alongside it, or can cross over, you choose. I'm going to pick up my upper body and I'm going to take it over to the right. My right hand can grab the left wrist, and we're going to be here and breathe for a couple of minutes. Breathing and expanding, opening up the side body. We're also working and squeezing the obliques over here. So life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. Really expand that rib cage. We're still zipped up from the pubic bone behind the navel. If anything here becomes too much too quickly, back off a little bit. You can always take that little break, then come back into something a little deeper. Remember, we just don't want to go past our max or to our max right off the bat. And give your body some time. I choose joy. I choose joy. Maybe smile a little bit, relax that face. Good. And then from here, lift up the upper body, take it back to center, release the shoulders. Good. If you did a crossover with the leg, carefully undo that and come back to center. I'm going to put a bend in my knees here, and then I'm just going to rock, rock, rock side to side. And I think, also it might feel good to do a supine twist here in between these Bananasanas. So let's take the knees into tabletop position. Good. I'm going to take my arms out to the side. We're just going to counter a little bit. So we stretched the left side a moment ago. Let's counter that by getting into the right side here. Good. Life is beautiful. I choose joy. I am in charge of how I feel. I am in charge of how I feel. Now, one leg at a time, we're going to come back to center. Take that right over into the other side. Life is beautiful. I choose joy. I am in charge of how I feel. I am in charge of how I feel. And from here, when you're ready, one leg at a time, coming back into center, and we'll wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Let's take that Bananasana into the other side. So from here, good. If you want another full body stretch, go ahead and take it. And then I'm going to slide my left leg over to the left. My right leg can slide alongside it or cross over. I'm going to bend up my upper body. Good. Taking it over to the left. I'll get my timer here. Good. And then maybe the left hand grabs the right wrist. Breathing and expanding. Opening up the other side, the other shoulder. Even getting into the hip and on the outside of the leg a little bit. Breathe. And you can always come back to your Ujjayi Pranayama here. That ocean breath, the Darth Vader breath. You're still zipped up from the pubic bone to behind the navel. And we know that we can back off or come out of something at any time if we need to. So you are in charge of how you feel. You might also hear this pose sometimes referred to as supine, crescent moon. Trying to take yourself into that C shape like crescent moon. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good. Release the arm, lift the upper body, take it back to center. Good. Carefully release the legs. You can reach again, bending in the knees. Good. Let's take that supine twist again, each side. Go to the right. And then when you're ready, bring it back in, take it to the left. And then when you're ready, bringing those legs back in. I'm going to roll over to my side and come to a seat. However you want to transition that's safe for your body, that's what I would recommend. And of course, that wasn't a very good pose for my fledgling ponytail here. We'll just reset that. So we're going to go into Sphinx or Seal next. So I'm going to keep mine pretty basic, down low and Sphinx. But you are free to come up high into Seal if that's what you want to do today. So, and you always have that option too of bringing in a folded blanket, a bath towel will work just as well. Giving yourself a little cushion, which is what I'm also going to use today. I have a little bit of a cranky back here. Another one of those nights where I didn't want to disturb a cute sleeping Shih Tzu. So I just suffer through it and just let them be comfortable. So from here, good. If you're going to use the blanket as support, you want your hip bone to be right along the edge of the blanket. It's still on the blanket, but it's right to the edge. Good. And then I'm going to, I always forget this thing. Come right here. This is going to be about 3 minutes in this one. And so my legs are about hip width apart. They're directly behind me. My arms are going to come forward. If you're going into Seal, I'm going to recommend you take your hands a little forward and out to the side of the shoulders. I'll demo that real quick. Rolling shoulders back, belly button in. Good. And you can be a little bit of a Seal or you can be up high. What you don't want is this. You want to be where you can be supported here. Okay. And you don't want to hang into the low back like this. So again, you want to be able to be supported there. Sphinx, you're going to be on the forearm. Good. So lengthening, belly button in. Good. I'm going to lift. I'm going to take that chest forward, rolling shoulders back. Good. Find your Sphinx or Seal. Belly button is in. And even in Sphinx, you want your belly button to be in. And you want your shoulders to be down. So we don't want to be up here. We want to be down here. And we'll breathe. Reconnecting. Remember the main affirmation, life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. I choose joy. I choose joy. I am in charge of how I feel. I am in charge of how I feel. Good. What about I am fearless because I have faith? I am fearless because I have faith. Everybody has faith or belief in something. So what's yours? What's your source? All right, get a little toe cramp back there. Remember, you can come out at any time. Belly button is in. Shoulders are down. Expand that rib cage wherever you are on your inhale. Life is beautiful. Return to breath. And then from here, slowly lower down, make a little recovery pillow. You can turn your legs out to the side, coming into a little bit of a crocodile pose here. And it's also safe to wiggle, 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 if that would feel good to you. You can stay here in this crocodile position longer if that's what your body needs. Or if you're like me and your body needs to come back into a little bit of flexion right now, take the hands under the shoulders, press back, and find a roundy child's pose. So how far you go back depends on you. You can come all the way back here. You can come back part of the way. And then when you're ready, good. We're gonna set up for high dragons. So if you're someone who needs a knee cushion, keeping that blanket around can certainly help you for the back, knee. And I think my knees are okay today, so I'm going to just put this out of my way. But I am gonna bring in, sorry, I'm losing a little bit of weight and my pants are kind of not wanting to stay up here. So I'm gonna bring in my blocks here to help me be in support of this one. This will be 2 minutes to start. And then after we get into this for 2 minutes, we'll take it into a little bit of a twisty, okay? So from here, I'm gonna start by taking my left foot forward. So I've got my blocks here and I'm gonna use my blocks to put on the brakes as I get into this one. So from here, I'm just gonna kind of come forward a little bit, knees behind me and back off. And come forward a little bit, belly button is in and back off. Good, now I'll come forward again. Now my blocks are gonna put on my brakes. You can be high, medium, or low. You may not need them, but I wanna make sure that this knee is behind the hip. See how this is behind the hip? This is under the hip. This is behind the hip. It's okay to take this leg farther back or take this leg more forward in order to get there. Front hip's gonna come back hip's gonna come forward. I'm gonna take that sternum a little bit more forward, finding a little bit more length there. And we'll be right here in high dragon number 1. So life is beautiful. Let's pull these back a little bit here. Good. I choose joy. I choose how I get to feel. And you might see yourself sinking in. So if you want to adjust your blocks, you always can. I am fearless because I have faith. What about, I love myself. I love myself. Life is a lot more beautiful when we love ourselves. For some of us, that's easier said than done, but remember, none of us are perfect, not a single person. So hopefully that makes it a little bit easier to love ourselves, knowing that we're not perfect and don't need to be. Life would be pretty boring then. Wouldn't be as beautiful. Breathe. Sternum comes forward. I caught myself dipping down. And then from here, good. You can back off just a little bit if you need to, or come back into it. So I'm going to take this into a twist now. So from here, good, I'm just going to bring my block right here. I'm going to take my left hand on my left knee. We want 1 minute. Good. And then from here, just rotating to the left, maybe opening that left knee out to the left, maybe rocking on the side of that foot. Now, if that doesn't feel good to you, then don't go there. This is also a power move. Let me fix my, there we go. "30 seconds, you choose how you feel. So if it doesn't feel good, we come out. We don't stay there. Please don't choose to stay there in misery. Life is not beautiful when we choose misery on purpose. Don't choose misery on purpose. Good. And then from here, we'll come out. Good. Now from here, we're going to take a nice long half split here to counter that. So if you want to use blocks, you can. They can be any height that you need to. So now my left leg is long. Now my hip is going to be over that knee. And I'm still going to take my sternum a little bit more forward, because then when I do that, I get a little bit more lengthening here through the hamstring. And as a little bonus, if you want to point and flex that foot, you can. And when you're ready, good, we'll come out of there. Take any little movement here if your body needs you to take one before we go to the other side. When you're ready, good. Now we're going to take the right foot forward. And actually, just as a precaution, it's because the history with this knee, I'm going to take a little blanket here on that left side. Okay. So from here, the right foot's going to come forward. Good. And when you're ready, good, we're going to come into it a little bit and come out. Notice how my right heel never leaves the floor. I'm coming in and coming out, and then I'll come into it. Good. Front hip will come back just a little bit. Lengthen that sternum forward, rolling the shoulders back. Life is beautiful. I am fearless because I have faith. I choose joy. I love myself. I love myself. And what about I believe in my potential? I believe in my potential. It's hard to believe in your potential. We all have potential when you don't love yourself. So I love myself. I believe in my potential. I believe in my potential. I hired a business coach this week, so I'm very excited. And lengthen that torso if you need to. Back off if you need to. Front heel is still grounded. Belly button is still in. Breathe. Life is beautiful. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good. We will come back for a moment. Get yourself into place if you're going to take that little bonus twisty here. So from here, yeah, I'm just going to come forward. Good. Right hand on my right thigh. I'm just going to roll to the side. And I have to kind of adjust my hand a little bit on my block, make my wrist a little bit happy. So if you need to do that too, that's okay. I believe in my potential. I am fearless because I have faith. Stay with the breath. Try to still zip up from pubic bone to behind the navel. It's okay if you build a little heat. Good. And carefully come out. Good. And then from here, we'll take that into that half split pose. So coming back up. Good. With or without your blocks, your right leg's going to come forward. Good. Now your hip can be over that knee. Good. Keep a little softness here and then lengthen that torso. And then that'll magically get a little bit more of a stretch. My shoulders are relaxed. Breathing in again. If you want that little bonus, you can take that point and flex. And point and flex. And point and flex. And point and flex. And then from here, when you're ready, good, we'll come out of there. And you can move this blanket out of the way if you used one. Good. And take any little movements again that your body may need. We're going to come into high pigeon next. So again, and this is going to be a 3-minute hold. So be careful with this one. So if you know that coming here, so I've got a little bit of an angle in the shin. I'm taking this back leg straight back here. My front hips back a little bit, so my hips are a little bit more squared. We're going to be up here today. Okay, so there's a few things you can do. You can take a blanket if you're really high. I'm starting to kind of like having the blanket all the way across versus just under one side. So I'm just going to kind of bring this in. So now I've got my whole pelvis kind of being in support here. I'm kind of liking that one better these days when I need it. But actually, this feels pretty good, so I'm just going to stay right here. You can also be on your back, knowing that this is going to be 3 minutes. Figure 4 on your back, pulling the shin and everything into your chest. It's going to get very intense very quickly. So what I would recommend is halfway, foot on the floor, working on taking that knee more out to the side, and then the last half, bringing it into the chest. Okay. But if you're trying props and this isn't good for you, it's not good on the knees, not good for the hip, then try on your back. And when you're ready, here's 3 minutes right here. Yeah, so I'm rolling my shoulders back. I'm still zipping up from pubic bone to behind the navel. Coming back to intentions and affirmations. Life is beautiful. I choose joy. I choose how I get to feel. I am fearless because I have faith. I love myself. I believe in my potential. I believe in my potential. And as all of my students and clients out there, I believe in your potential. It's also important that we have people in our lives that also believe in our potential. So as your teacher, your guide, I believe in your potential. Okay. So we're about at the halfway point here. So if you're in a figure 4 and you need to make a change, or if you're doing this and you need to make a change, go ahead and make that change. Because I believe in my potential and your potential, there are no mountains too high for us to climb. There are no mountains too high for us to climb. Good. So if you're still up high here, and our shoulders are back, it's okay if you're shaking. Belly button is still zipped up here, whether you're on your back or if you're in the full high pigeon here. And life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. So I'm facing the direction of my window right now. I've got a chipmunk looking in here at me, wondering what's going on in here. Sometimes I'm also visited by squirrels and random cats. I got a cat visit earlier this morning, probably looking for Mr. Chipmunk. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good. Wherever you went with that, carefully come out of there. So I'm just going to slide this blanket out of my way and just kind of come back. And then I'm just going to kind of sit back. If you're already on your back, taking both feet onto the floor and doing a little windshield wiper like we did at the start of class will help you. And then when we're ready, we're going to take that all to the other side. Okay. So this is the last thing we're doing here before we get into saddle or a saddle variation. I'm going to reset my blanket here. Good. Coming up, so I'm taking that knee. Good. So the front hip's going to come back. This leg is going to come straight back if you can. Good. And then we're going to be up high. And you can always use blocks here to help you. So maybe the wrists don't want you to be up here, but you still want to be up. Maybe you come onto the forearm with the support of that block. That's okay. When you're ready, figure 4 or up high, rolling shoulders back, belly button is in. Breathe and expand. Life is beautiful. We're still zipped up from the pubic bone behind the navel. Remembering, even though on your back is more gentle, whether you're on your back or you're following me here, pain, numbness, tingling, burning are never normal. So you want to back off if you feel those anywhere. Usually not always, but usually that's the sign of a compressed nerve. And if we stay with the compressed nerve over time, that has the potential to cause us nerve damage. So this is why we don't power through those sensations. They're warning signs. So life is beautiful. I love myself. You love yourself, honor yourself. And don't plow or push through when your body's telling you no. So we're at the halfway point here. So those of you that are on your back, or even if you're following me, if you need to make any adjustments, go ahead and make that adjustment. I am fearless because I have faith. I love myself. I believe in my potential. Because I love myself and believe in my potential, there are no mountains that are too high for me to climb. There are no mountains that are too high for me to climb. I choose joy. Good things are coming my way. Good things are coming your way. Good things are coming our way. Come back to the breath. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good. Take any little movement here that you need. So I'm just going to come up out of here. Good. I'm just going to take that leg back, finding a little child's pose, rolling out my wrist. If you're on your back, you can get those windshield wipers again. Good. And then when you're ready, good. We're going to come into our peak pose, saddle pose, or a variation thereof. So for my saddle, I like to sit on a folded blanket. I'm just going to take that here. And then for those of you that are wanting to go back, I advise that with extreme caution and with support. There are a few exceptions, but to make things a little bit more safe. So I'm going to give you half saddle and full saddle, and we're going to be wherever you're going to choose. We're going to be here 2 minutes. So even if you're choosing full saddle, you'll get the opportunity for a break and come back in it for round 2, just so that we don't have people that are doing a half saddle today kind of left behind and uneven. So if you're going to do a half saddle, let's take the left leg forward. Just kind of roll over on that left side as you take this foot back here. So if you're also sitting on a blanket, be careful where your blanket is so that your foot and everything doesn't get caught up in it. And your bolster is going to come directly behind you. So you can be here. Good. At about halfway point, I'll say if you want to make a change, you can. So that might be a little bit. It might be all the way back here. Now, my back is janky, as I explained earlier. So I'm not going to be going back today, but I wanted to bring this in just so that you could see it in case you want to go there. And always remember, this knee never floats up in the air. A floating knee is a risky knee. Those of you that are going to practice with me in the full, good. But I don't know why I did that, but good. And what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to get into this a different way. I'm going to take this blanket. I'm going to fold it a little bit, and then I'm going to put it right underneath here. Good. And then as I do that, good. Now my knees are alongside me, so I'm sitting up on this blanket. Good. And if I decide to go back, probably not this first one, maybe the second one, then I've got my support here. Okay. So whether you're doing one or both, the higher you sit, the more comfortable that will be on the bent knee. So be mindful of that. This one takes a long time to master. Be patient with yourself. And if you've got knee issues, it's going to take even longer to master. And you might always have a little bit of a limitation depending on what's going on in there. So be mindful of where you are and honor where you are. Good. So I'm sitting tall. So I'm zipping up nice and tall. You can always kind of, I call them spider fingers, kind of massage around that knee area. You can go down the leg. You can get around the tops of the feet and the ankles. So if you're watching this for the first time, or you've heard me give my saddle spiels, I used to be able to do this one in my younger years and go straight back, no problem at all. Then I had a few injuries and I wasn't able to do that. It was a big deal for me for a time to be able to take one leg forward and one leg back. It's been probably 10 years or so to get back to this point with both knees. But I got there because I was patient and I didn't force my body to do things that it wasn't ready to do or that I knew it shouldn't be doing. So take your time. There's things I'm doing now, like today, that I thought I would never be able to do again or even be able to do at all. So it's always a journey. And these poses, whether you're in them in the full or a variation, always have something to teach you. Always have something to teach you. Good. Now, we've got about 15 seconds left here. I forgot to tell you to go back. Hopefully, you've done that on your own, if that was your goal. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, if you're doing a Mary, doing what I'm doing, then just kind of come forward and give yourself a break out of there. If you've got your left leg forward and your right knee back, roll over to the left side, release that leg. You can pat things out. Otherwise, you can set yourself up for the other side. So I'm just going to set myself up over here just so my back is not going to be to the camera. Good. But remember, you can, this time, if you're going to do the single leg, it'll be the right leg forward, like this. Right leg forward and the left knee back, okay? Or you can do more of a full saddle. So I've got my folded blanket here. Now you can also sit on a block and do this as well, or a pillow. It just kind of depends on what you have. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good. Come back into whatever it is that you need to come to. You can do the spider finger little massage and rub. Good. So going into the positive affirmations and the injuries that I was just talking about. No, I am not what happened to me. I am not those injuries. Injuries. I am not those injuries. I am not what happened to me. Your life is beautiful. I love myself. I believe in my potential. Good things are coming my way. They're quickly coming my way. Now we're about at the halfway point. So you can always stay upright. Or if you want to experiment kind of taking the hands back a little bit, you can. That might be okay now to do that. So again, make sure you don't want your knees to be popping up. I'm still breathing. My belly button is in. If your belly button is not in here, this goes right to the back. And again, what I'm doing here with support may not be for you. If it's not for you, don't go there. Again, don't be miserable on purpose. So if you're here on purpose and you don't like it, you're choosing that misery. Don't choose misery. Life is beautiful. Good. Now, from here, if you went back, nod your chin. Good. Help yourself in the way that's for you to come up. Good. And then when you're ready, good. Come out in the way that you need to come out. Good. So I'm just going to remove this blanket. Since I'm here, I'm just going to do kind of my inner cat and dog here. Just kind of shake out one leg and then shake out the other. All right. From here, we are going to do one more thing before we come down for Shavasana. And actually, we're going to be on our backs. So I'm going to move this out of the way here. But you can have things ready as you want to for your Shavasana. So I'm going to unfold this blanket. We're going to use it as a little neck pillow here. We're going to do one more little supine twist that I think will feel really good, especially if you chose to go back. So once you come back here, just take the knees back into the chest. Find that length. Maybe a wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. And then when you're ready, I'm going to take my left leg long in front of me. Good. My right knee is going to stay bent. Left hand on the outside of that right thigh. And then I'm going to turn here. Now, if this does not feel good to you on the hip or the knee, to have this foot hanging here, prop something under there. So for me, I'm just going to grab a block and just put that right there. Now, I am bold and strong. I am bold and strong. We are bold and strong. When you're ready, we'll bring that back into center. Good. I'm just going to bring this block over here just in case I need it over there. And then when you're ready, bring in the other leg. Good. So the right leg's going to be long. Right hand on the outside of this left thigh, taking it over. Good. Breathing. I feel inspired and I inspire others. I feel inspired and I inspire others. Life is beautiful. We are bold and strong. When we're ready, we'll come back in. Good. From here, take any little movement that you need coming into your Shavasana. I'm going to grab my bolster and place that bolster right under my legs. It's a nice psoas. Early here to have something under the thighs for those of us that tend to be really tight there. And then find yourself about 10% more comfortable than where you are. Good. And I'll leave you with this final thought. Something wonderful is always about to happen. Something wonderful is always about to happen. And then coming back to your breath. Choose stillness or gently take head and neck and side to side. Choose stillness or invite movement of fingers and toes. Choose stillness or taking knees into the chest, choosing to keep the upper body grounded, or maybe you want to lift it up for a full body hug. And choosing stillness or moving any props out of the way that you may have used. Taking legs long in front of you, arms long behind you, and reach and lengthen from the edge of the fingertips, the edge of the toes. Full body stretch, point and flex the feet, bend and stretch the hands, twirling wrists and ankles in one direction, and then in the other. And then whenever you're ready, bending in both knees, you choose rolling over to the right or left side, the side that works best for you in this moment. Whenever you're ready, press yourself up to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you, where we normally start our practice. Taking a moment to notice how you feel. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Inhale, reach, 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 look up there. Exhale, hands and heart. Reconnecting with that life is beautiful intention one more time. We'll take thumbs to the forehead for good and true thoughts, to the lips for good and kind words, and to the heart for open and loving heart. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted. No gain is ever reversed. May you be safe. May you stay well. May you always find a life that is beautiful. Namaste.